the most disgusting treatments in history. What people used to do to get well. We'll start with the nauseous to the traumatizing. These days, a minor ailment can be treated with just a little medicine. But hundreds of years ago, people were willing to do the most disgusting things, just for one hope to be cured. This isn't a myth. It's recorded in history. And after you hear it all, you'll realize people weren't less intelligent back then. They were just reckless and ignorant. Ooh. Number 10, gargle with urine. The ancient Romans once believed that if you wanted white teeth, the solution wasn't to brush your teeth, but to gargle with urine. Yes, urine. The poet Catullus even often mocked his friends. He said that the whiter your teeth were, the more you drank urine. The substances in urine can indeed soften teeth. The problem is, the method was crazy. Ancient healers also advised people to rinse wounds with warm urine. They said it would kill germs. In fact, what they were gargling was a liquid full of bacteria. Instead of healing, the wounds became swollen and infected. This practice only stopped in the 18th century, when doctors realized there was a clean way that didn't smell of urine. Ooh. Number 9, animal carcasses. The ancient Egyptians believed that toothaches could be cured with dead mice. The mouse carcasses were pounded until soft, then stuffed into the mouth. They believed the mouse's spirit would draw out the pain. What happened? The foul odor lingered in the mouth. Germs entered the bloodstream, and severe infections became rampant. Many faces rotted not from dental disease, but from the corpses they had attached themselves to. This practice only disappeared in the early 20th century, when the medical world realized mice were a source of disease, not a cure. Ooh. Number 8, apply fighters' sweat. In ancient Rome, gladiators' sweat was considered a luxury item. Their excrement was scraped off with an iron tool, collected in bottles, and then sold for high prices. The famous physician Galen recommended it for skin care. Noble women used this excrement as a facial mask to maintain youth. But what it contained? Bacteria, body oils, and dead skin cells. Many even suffered from irritation and fungus. But for the sake of fashion, the smell of urine was still considered an expensive perfume. This practice stopped when the gladiator arenas closed and people began to use soap. Ooh. Number 7, animal waste. Egyptians, Greeks, and even ancient Europeans used animal waste as medicine. Pig, sheep, and even crocodile dung was used for wounds and internal ailments. They believed the smell and bitter taste were signs the medicine was working. In reality, they were simply injecting bacteria directly into their already weakened bodies. Many wounds festered, even leading to amputation. This practice was banned in the 19th century when germ theory was discovered. Since then, excrement has been used only as fertilizer, not medicine. Ooh. Number 6, powdered human bones. In medieval Europe, human bones were ground finely and drunk for headaches, epilepsy, and impotence. The skulls of people who had died tragically were considered the most effective. The younger the victim, the more expensive they were. Yet the bones were full of bacteria and the poison of the burial ground. This wasn't a cure. It was the pharmacy version of cannibalism. Ooh. Number 5, blood as medicine. Epileptics were told to drink the blood of recently deceased gladiators. The blood had to be warm. They believed the fighters' powers would transfer to their bodies. What happened? Infection, blood disease, and death. One person feeling better was enough to perpetuate this myth for hundreds of years. Number 4, mercury. This metal was once thought to be a cure for longevity. In fact, mercury slowly destroyed the brain. People became shaky, went crazy, lost their memories, and then died. Ironically, these symptoms were considered a sign that the medicine was working. Ooh. Number 3, leeches. For nearly 2,000 years, Western medicine followed the theory of the 4 bodily humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. This theory originated with Hippocrates and was refined by Galen, the most influential physician in the Roman world. According to them, almost all diseases were caused by excess blood. There was one solution: bleed. Dozens of leeches were applied at once, until the patient became pale and nearly faint. Ironically, when the patient weakened, it was considered a sign that the body was restoring its balance. Many people died not from their illnesses, but from the loss of too much healthy blood. This practice was only abandoned in the 19th century, when anatomy and blood circulation were finally scientifically understood. Number 2, arsenic. In 18th and 19th century Europe, pale skin was considered a symbol of upper class and beauty. Small doses of arsenic were believed to make the skin appear white, the eyes bright, and the face appear smooth. This belief was supported by official pharmaceutical practice. There was even a legal drug called Fowler's solution, a prescription-strength arsenic solution. In Austria, there was a known phenomenon of Styrian arsenic eaters, people who regularly consumed arsenic, because they felt their bodies were stronger and more beautiful. The problem was, the arsenic accumulated slowly. Organs were damaged, the heart weakened, and death came without warning. But because the initial effects seemed positive, many people ignored the destruction taking place inside their bodies. Number 1, the most serious. In medieval and early modern Europe, the human body itself was considered the most powerful source of medicine. This wasn't a secret practice. It was recommended by physicians and pharmacists. Human fat was used for wounds, fresh blood was drunk for epilepsy, and the most popular, mumia, powdered Egyptian mummies sold in pharmacies. Figures like Paracelsus, a pioneer of medicinal chemistry, believed that a person's life essence could be transferred through their body parts. The problem is, what they consume isn't life energy, but bacteria, toxins, and decaying tissue. This isn't individual stupidity. This is mass desperation sanctioned by immature science. History isn't just disgusting. It's a warning. Pain and fear don't make people smarter. They shut logic down. When humans are desperate, they will believe anything that sounds convincing, even if it's filthy, dangerous, or deadly. For centuries, suffering people trusted advice that slowly destroyed their bodies instead of healing them. We are lucky to live in a time where medicine is tested, questioned, and proven. Not guessed, not worshipped, and not made from rotting flesh. Progress didn't come from bravery alone. It came from learning to say, "This doesn't make sense."